Hey guys, how's it going? It's Auret here. In this video, we're gonna look at the complicated world that is the cost of selling on Etsy. So we're gonna look at fee structure, we're gonna look at the different ways to get paid on Etsy, we're gonna look at what those fees are, and then going to look at an example together. So I filmed a similar video last year detailing all of this stuff and you guys found it super helpful. So I decided to do a 2020 version because Etsy is always changing. They have changed a few things and I'm also going to incorporate some of your feedback that I got from that video. So let's first start off with how do you get paid on Etsy? Because the fees are going to make more sense if you understand the how of how we get paid. So the first method of getting paid on Etsy is using what's called Etsy payments. And this is the primary way for you to get paid. It is basically the name given to Etsy's internal payment processing system, which they allow you to use. So what's good about Etsy payments is that it allows your buyer, it gives your buyer many different options for basically the buyer giving you money in your store. And those methods are, they can pay with credit card, debit, gift cards, PayPal, Apple Pay. So they give them a whole lot of options using this Etsy payments system. The thing with Etsy payments is that there is a fee associated with using their payment system. And also you are required to use Etsy payments if you fall under this eligibility list of countries eligible for Etsy payment. So if you are on this list, I'm in Canada, so I am required to use Etsy payments in my store. The US is also on here as well. And I'm going to, by the way, all of what you're seeing here, I'm going to put links to these articles and resources in the description below so you can always refer back to them. If you are on this list, you have to use Etsy payments as your main method for accepting payments into your store. Now, what if you're not on this list? So if you're not on this list, you will be using a different method of accepting payments. And that could be from receiving a check in the mail. So the buyer sends you a check or money order. You can receive money that way. You can also connect your PayPal account and receive money that way from your buyer. And then there is also an other category, which basically means you can coordinate a specific way of getting paid from your buyer directly. The question that I had previously was, can you accept money can you connect your PayPal to receive money that way if you don't want to use Etsy payments? And the answer is no, you can't. If you are required, if you are on that eligibility list for accepting payments through Etsy payments, if you are on this list, then you absolutely have to use the Etsy payments system, which includes PayPal in it, but you just can't have all of that control in terms of connecting your PayPal account directly to your store, because you are required to use their Etsy payment system and you can't set your store to be only receiving payments from PayPal. Okay, so now that we understand about how to get paid through Etsy, let's go and look at the different fees associated with listing an item and selling an item on your store. Now, I think the best way to illustrate this is just by opening up through Paint and drawing it out and listing it out for you using an example, because I'm a visual person and I understand things better when I see it through an example. It simplifies a really complicated matter. There's so many articles and videos and stuff explaining Etsy fees, but it still somehow is complicated to understand. And it took me a while to figure this out. I really wanted to share what I discovered with you. So let's first start out by listing all of the different fees associated. So the first fee that you will encounter is a listing fee. And that listing fee is 20 cents. So when you first list an item in your store, so let's say you've set up your store, you don't have any listings yet, but you want to list your first product and you create the listing for the product, you will be charged 20 cents for creating that listing in your store. Now, the listing, it's not necessarily a one-time fee because your listing will expire after 4 months. So 4 months, your listing will expire. It will come off of your store. And in order to relist that, you will have to pay the 20 cents fee again. There is an option where you can set the listing to auto renew. So when you do that, the 20-cent charge will just automatically be charged after 4 months. But if you want to manage that on your own, you can set it to manual so that if that listing does expire after 4 months, or when it will expire after 4 months, it will be taken down, and then you can decide whether or not you want to pay the 20 cents again to relist that on your store. So that's the listing fee. The second fee that you will encounter is a transaction fee. So your transaction fee is the fee that Etsy will take once you make a sale. So once your product sells, you will be charged a 5% fee, and that fee is not just on the retail cost of the item, but it's also on the shipping. So keep that in mind. It's on the retail price. Let's expand this. And the shipping. So whether you take 5% off of, you can take 5% off of the total cost, basically, of retail price plus shipping. Basically, whatever the customer paid, a 5% fee will be taken off of that amount. Again, we'll go through an example together, but right now I'm just listing all of the different fees. So that's transaction fee. The next fee you need to be aware about is called auto renew sold fee. The auto renew sold fee is 20 cents, and it's similar to the listing fee in that if you make a sale, when you sell an item, if you have quantities left over from that item, then Etsy will charge you 20 cents to relist that item, to keep that item listed in your store. Because in their mind, technically, if you sell something, that listing should come off of your store. But if you're saying that you still have more quantities left of that item, then to keep that listing up, you will pay another 20 cents, and that's going to show up in your back end as an auto renew sold fee. So that is another fee that you need to be aware about. And by the way, all of these fees are in US dollars. So they charge it in US, but then it's converted to whatever currency your bank account is in. So just keep that in mind. The next fee is called multi-quantity fee. I have a feeling some people are watching this and they're like, okay, too many fees, just X out of the video, not starting an Etsy store. So this is another fee you need to be aware about. Multi-quantity fee is when you sell more than one of the same item to a buyer. So let's say you have a t-shirt, right? And the buyer, you listed one t-shirt design up in your store, and your buyer wants 2 of those t-shirts. So they want 2, they select quantity 2, and they purchase 2 of those t-shirts. Then you will be charged 20 cents for each extra quantity of that item sold. So because you're selling 2 of those items, Etsy will charge you 20 cents for that second item, second product that the buyer bought. If they wanted 3 of your items, so if they're on your t-shirt listing and they select quantity 3, then you will be charged rather 40 cents for your multi-quantity fee because it's 20 cents per each additional item sold of that from that listing. So keep that in mind. So each additional item sold from the same listing. All right. Okay. Next fee. Still going. Sometimes I look at these fees and I'm like, multi-quantity fee, like where do they come up with these fees, right? It's just like from the sky. The next fee that kind of slightly touched upon before is the Etsy payments fee. So in the example that we're going to go together, I'm assuming that you are on that list of countries eligible for Etsy payments and you are using their Etsy payments processing system. So like I said, there is a fee associated with using that processing system whenever a buyer purchases something from your store. And that fee, just to make things more complicated, varies depending on what country you're in. So I'm going to put here varies, and you'll be able to see what those fees are in this list right here. So again, I'm going to put a link to all of these articles that you're seeing here that I'm using. I'm going to put links to them in the description below so you can check out and see what is the Etsy payments fee for your country. So if you're in the US, you can scroll down here and see that your Etsy payments processing fee is 3% plus 25 cents. Now this percentage is taken off the total sale price. So whatever your buyer paid, that's what this percentage is taken off of. So yes, it will include shipping as well. So I'm in Canada, like I said. For me, it's a little bit more complicated. For me, it's 3% off of the total cost of what the buyer, or the total amount that the buyer paid, plus 25 cents, only if it's a domestic order or orders from the US. So if my buyer is in the US or Canada, then that's what the payments fee is. But if they're anywhere else in the world on international orders, then it's 4%. Plus 25 cents. So just for the sake of simplifying things, let's just assume in our example that the buyer it's a domestic order. So I'm going to write over here, you know what, I'll use a US just to make things, because this is actually 25 cents Canadian. So let's just again simplify. I'll use a US, keep it all US dollars, since most of you who are watching are from the States. So 25 cents USD. Okay. So these are the main fees that you might see in your store. There are other fees associated depending on what you're doing with your store, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. For example, if your shop is in a currency, you're selling in a currency that is different from the currency of your bank account, then you will be charged a currency conversion fee for Etsy to take that money that the buyer paid in your store in that currency and exchange it into the currency when they deposited into your bank account. So I actually did a video on this saying that why we keep, even though I'm in Canada, and most of my buyers are in the States, I actually switched the currency of my store back to Canadian dollars. Originally, it was in US dollars, but I changed it back to Canadian dollars because my bank account is in Canadian dollars. So that way I'm avoiding the currency exchange fee. If you're wondering about VAT, taxes, and shipping and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to go through this example just keeping it simple without talking about taxes, because it varies for every, there's so many different little things about where you are in the UK and that kind of thing with VAT. And also with shipping, everybody calculates shipping differently. I did another video, by the way, on how to calculate the right shipping price for your items so that you are still profitable. So you can check that video out as well. But for now, I want to keep it super simple. I'm going to to go over an example and show you how these different fees come into play. So for us, we sell t-shirts in our store. I design them, and we have another person who makes the actual physical t-shirt and prints it, and then we sell that on our Etsy store. I'm gonna draw a t-shirt. Let's go through an example together. So this is my t-shirt, my product that I am listing in my store. So let's say I retail this t-shirt, so I'm selling it for, let's say, $24. All right. So I list this t-shirt on my Etsy store, and the first fee that I pay is this listing fee right here, which is 20 cents. All right. So I'm color coding this so we understand what's what. So the first fee that I pay is 20 cents. When that item sells, that I will then pay a transaction fee of 5% on what the customer paid. So, which includes shipping if I have charged for shipping. Some people offer free shipping. So let's say I retailed it for $24, but then I also charged $5 shipping. Again, we're omitting taxes and all that kind of stuff just for the sake of simplicity. So let's say that, let's use green here. So with shipping, the customer ended up paying $29. All right. So my transaction fee, let's calculate that, will be 5% of $29. So I'm going to go 29 times 5% equals, and then I'm getting $1.45. All right, so that is my transaction fee. Okay, so how does the auto renew sold fee come into play? So when we list a t-shirt in our store, we actually set the quantity, the amount of product that we have to like 900, because it's actually unlimited. Because when someone purchases a t-shirt, it's print on demand, meaning the customer places the order and the t-shirt is only made once the customer places the order. So the supply is unlimited, right? So because I have more quantities left of that item, I am paying 20 cents extra when that listing or when that product sells. So that will be my auto renew sold fee. So again, when I've just sold that item, I will be charged an auto renew sold fee to keep that item listed in the store, because it's kind of like I'm paying another extra 20 cents now to relist that item in the store. That's the auto renew sold fee. Let's just say I had my t-shirt listing and I only put I only have one of that product and it sells, then I won't be charged the auto renew sold fee because it will just be taken down basically. Etsy won't relist it because I've already sold the one quantity, the one product, the one piece that I have. So just keep that in mind if you are saying that you have more than one of a certain product, then you will be charged another 20 cents for it to remain listed in your store. So that's the auto renew sold fee. Then there's the multi-quantity fee. For the most part, we on average sell one t-shirt per order. That definitely can be improved, but that's the way it is. Let's just say our buyer just bought one t-shirt. If they bought two of this same t-shirt, then again, they would be charged another 20, or we would be charged another 20 cents. If they bought three of the t-shirts, then the additional fee would be 40 cents and so on. But let's for now say that the buyer only bought one. Now the Etsy payments fee, we can't forget that because we are using Etsy payments processing system. So that will be, the 3% will be taken off of what the buyer paid, which is 29. So let's again go 29 times 3%, which is 87 cents. Let me get a new color here. Let's get purple. So we have 87, oops. We have 87 cents. That is a horrible looking 8. Plus 25 cents. All right, because it's 3% of what the buyer paid, 3% off of 29 plus 25 cents. So let's add up, let's put this color coded here so we know what that is. Let's add up all of these fees and see what the total cost of is in fees. So 20 cents plus 145 plus 20 plus 87 plus 25 is $2.97. So let's see what we're left with. I'm gonna go 24, which was the retail price of the shirt, minus $2.97. I'm taking it off of 24, by the way, and not 29, just because I'm assuming that $5 shipping fee is all going towards the cost of me shipping that item. So I'm going 24 minus $2.97, and I am left with $21.03. All right, that is what I'm left with after, whoops, that was a gross box. That's what I'm left with after all of these fees are taken out. Now, keep in mind, this isn't necessarily my profit, because it's going to cost you a certain amount to have made that product. So you got to also subtract the cost of you making that product, like your materials, maybe labor costs, that kind of thing, to actually really find out what you are left with, what is the real profit after all of these fees are taken into account. So guys, I hope this exercise has been helpful for you. If you are interested in learning more about how to calculate the cost of shipping in your store, or learning more about the currency exchange fees, then I'm going to put links to those related videos down in the description, and they'll pop up here too. And if there's any other questions that you have for me, please leave them in the comments section. So I will be watching the comments section. I want to get to your questions, and let me know if you liked this video. Put a thumbs up on it, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, because we do have a lot of other Etsy related resources and videos for you to help you if you do decide to still stick with selling on Etsy. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Back from the dead.